Welcome to Global Village. We have two guests today from County of New York, uh, Anne Marie, counselor from Patricia. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
And Tom McNulty, our police chief from the County of New York and City of Brooks. Welcome, Tom. Come back to the program.
Thank you, Ahmed.
Could you tell us the crime rate of compare last year, the first 3 months to the first 3 months of 2015?
The crime rate, it fluctuates up and down year to year, and overall we're slightly below last year in total criminal code events. Our assaults are slightly up a little bit, especially in Brooks, not so much the County of Newell, but in Brooks. But it's still substantially less than the average community of our size. We've done a great deal in the City of Brooks, County of Newell over the last number of years to fight the crime rate. The City of Brooks purchased 5 or 6 new policemen in the last 5 years. We started a very strong Safe Communities Committee, which we'll talk about in a little bit. And we've come up with some other programs such as the Domestic Violence Intervention Team, which have all contributed to dropping the crime rate in Brooks and area and making it quite a safe and happy place to live.
Thank you very much, Tom. Madam Councillor, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I've been a counselor for 10 years, and I represent Patricia, Millicent, Imperial Colony area, which is northeast of Brooks, and we're also including Dinosaur Provincial Park, which is a World Heritage Site.
Yeah.
It's Patricia itself is the only hamlet in Division 3, and it has about 95 people that live there.
Wow.
And I live on a ranch and a farm with my husband Harry, and we have 4 kids. They're all grown up, left home.
There you go. So 95 people. We have some of them work at JPS.
Yes.
Some of them work at JPS. They come from Patricia. So how far is from Brooks then?
It's about a 30-minute drive from Patricia to Brooks.
Oh, it's not that far then.
It's not bad. It's all paved and good roads to get to Brooks.
There you go. So, okay, Tom, could you tell us something? The public safety. What is the public safety in terms of the community engagement for the people to be part of safe environment?
Well, the definition of public safety is just that: the safety of the public, of people and property and community. And if there's anything that comes to threaten the livelihood or safety of people, or environmental hazards such as a tornado, or that threatens the public safety of the community. Public safety is all wound into that, whether it's environmental or human caused, or anything that challenges personal or property safety. So our job as a police force is to minimize the effect of hazardous events that might affect the community. The one way of the environment, we'll try and work with all of the other services in the community to lessen the impact of flooding, or of a tornado, or of winds, or fire, or what have you. We'll do the best we can with all of the other services. But as far as criminal activity go, that's pretty much our sole responsibility, or the responsibility stays with us. But it's really, really important that the community understand that the police can only be as good as the community allows them to be.
Okay.
The people of the community have to assist the police in telling them what's going on. We can't be everywhere and everything to all people. We police most of the County of Newell. My detachment goes from the Red Deer River to the Bow River north-south, and approximately 140 kilometers east and west up the #1 highway.
Wow.
I may have 3 or 4 members on in that whole area at any given time, so we can't be everywhere. If we have a problem in Patricia or Rolling Hills or Rainier or Cessford, those are all things that we have to go respond to, or the city of Brooks. We have to rely on people to assist us. So being a strong member of your community, there's a certain responsibility that goes with that.
Okay.
If you see domestic violence, it's important that you intervene, or call people that will intervene. Any violence from one person to another is unacceptable, and we have to intervene. When you see kids picking on other kids, or when you know of, well, one of the biggest thing that's in the news right now, and especially in Canada, is the radicalization of youth, whether that be criminal gangs or terrorists or whatever. We have to protect our youth, and if people in the community are aware that a certain segment of the community are trying to go after youth for illegal purposes or problematic purposes, or there's a website or there's something, it's really important that they come forward and let us know that.
So we have an obligation, to inform, to make sure that the community is living in a safe environment all the time. So we have to participate, and if there is anything that the community is acknowledging, they have information, then they have to share with the authority to make sure that will prevent any eventuality that might come.
If a lot of people will hesitate to cooperate with the police, they don't want to be identified as an informant, or there's worse names for that, but they don't want to be involved in the court process, or they just don't want to be involved with the police. So there's Crime Stoppers, which is totally anonymous. People can call in to Crime Stoppers, or they can have somebody else who's willing to talk to us, give us a call. Somehow, if you want to make your community safer, somehow you have to get the information to the police or to a service that provides, to a service provider that can help. And if people complain about their community and don't do anything about it, I don't feel sorry for them. If you want to participate and you want to make it a happy community, a better community, there's lots and lots and lots of groups that are looking for volunteers. The police are always looking for information to solve crime. Safe communities. The County of Newell Council will always accept information to make their county better. All of us will. So yes, there's a responsibility to step forward and give your opinion in a respectful, professional manner.
The bottom line is step up on the plate and make sure that we live in a safe and vibrant community. So in order for us to live in a safe and vibrant community, we all participate.
That's right.
Thank you very much. I think that's a very good point, and I think most of our community share the same view, and those who don't, I think they hear from our police chief, and we need to live in a safe community for our children, for our family. We need to participate. That's the bottom line. Yeah. Thanks, Tom. Could you be able to tell us, for example, you've been with the council for 10 years? Okay. The economic development, for example, of the area. What is the advantage, you think, of having a more diverse people into our Newell region in terms of economic growth?
A diverse community in the county of Newell means the oil and gas, the farming, the ranching, and also different stores, different opportunity for business,
Mm-hmm.
and it also means a diverse community because of different cultures that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And economic development through the County of Newell and through the City of Brooks, because they have a partnership,
Yeah.
means that you have to support
Yeah.
the cultures and the different businesses, and have an open environment for them to grow as a business and to attract new businesses into the county.
And I think both County of Newell and the City of Brooks, I think, doing great for that. I think economic development, though now it has been changed to a share services.
It used to be a shared service, but with a committee, with different people throughout the county on that committee, and now the direction for economic development comes from joint services, and that is the City of Brooks, it is the County of Newell, and the smaller communities are always included in whatever decisions we make, because what's good for the county is good for the city, what's good for the city is good for the smaller communities like Dutchess and Rosemary and Bazzano.
Yeah, and I think Tilly is now hamlet. If I'm not
Tilly is a
mistaken.
hamlet.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
it used to be a village before.
Yes.
Okay,
And-
with Tom, I think he's been a mayor for a long time. John Timko.
John Timko is the mayor of Tilly.
Yeah, for a long time. So they don't have a mayor now then.
No, they don't. They're a hamlet, just like Patricia and Rolling Hill, so they're part of the County of Newell. But they do have a Hamlet Advisory Committee, which is made up of people that live in Tilly, and they will advise the county on what they would like to see in their hamlet.
Good for them. I think they make a good choice. If Patricia is hamlet, so Tamlet, then Tilly is hamlet. So what's good for Tilly or Patricia is good for Brooks, and what's good for Brooks, I think they good for the county.
Yep, we're
That's it.
one big region, and we have common goals. It only makes sense to work together.
There you go, and I think you guys doing a great job. Yeah, Tom, could you tell us the level of the different law enforcements in Canada?
The different law enforcement levels in Canada. We go from federal. We've got four main levels. We've got federal, provincial, municipal. Actually, three. Just the three. So at the federal level, the main law enforcement entity in Canada is the RCMP. We take care of national security, all of the federal statutes such as the Immigration Act, passport documents, copyright, drugs, all of the federal statutes. Then we have the provinces are all responsible for the policing of the province. So we have the provincial police forces.
Yeah.
In Ontario and Quebec, they have their own provincial police forces.
Yeah, OBP.
The Ontario Police and the Sûreté du Québec.
CPP, yeah.
In all other provinces in Canada, they've contracted to the RCMP to supply that level of policing. Then the municipalities, such as the City of Brooks, is responsible for their policing. So they have the option of having their own police force or contracting to another police force to deliver that service. And the City of Brooks chooses to contract with the RCMP to deliver that service. Then the City of Brooks also hires their own, as does the County of Newell, community peace officers. So they don't have quite the authority and investigative powers that a full-fledged RCMP police officer does. They can enforce some provincial laws and all of the county or city bylaws, whoever hires them. But they're not a full-fledged police officer. They are a peace officer. And then involved in all of those, we have all sorts of others. So we have the fish and wildlife people who are provincial employees. They're armed and they are police officers under certain statutes, provincial statutes, the Fish and Wildlife and Gaming Act. We have sheriffs who are provincial employees who do a lot of different stuff. Their highest profile is traffic enforcement, but they also do a lot of prisoner escorts. They're part of the ALERT team, the Alberta Law Enforcement Response Team. They are responsible for personal protection for the Premier and other VIPs in the province.
Wow.
And I'm sure there's a bunch of others that I'm not talking about.
Yeah.
Then we have CSIS, which everyone is the Canadian Securities Intelligence
Services.
Service.
Yeah.
I think, CSIS. But they're not a law enforcement agency, they're an intelligence agency.
Yeah.
So they don't enforce the law, they gather intelligence for the government.
Wow, that's a length of, I think, education for many people, I'm sure. That will lead me to the other question, which is the safe communities that we have in Brooks and County of Newell. You want to touch base of that one?
The Safe Communities Committee?
Yeah.
Under provincial legislation, the provincial government wants to set up, they had the police committee, which is a committee predominantly for larger communities, which will give advice or act as the liaison between the police and the elected officials.
Okay.
In Brooks, we switched it from the police committee to the Safe Communities Committee, which is also part of the legislation, about 3 years ago, and invited the County of Newell to be part of that. So sitting on the Safe Communities Committee is a councillor from the County of Newell and a councillor from the City of Brooks, myself, 2 staff members from the City of Brooks, and then members at large who are just people from the community who wants to participate. And Marie was one of the councillors that participated in the Safe Communities Committee up until a short time ago when she switched out. But it's the purpose of the committee is to identify issues in the community, so anywhere in the county or anywhere in the City of Brooks, talk about those issues, identify ways that we can deal with those issues through education, through environment, or through enforcement, and come up with a plan to make a difference. Whether it, one of the things that we took on over the past year was crosswalk safety. We've done a number of videos on that, which are on YouTube, and they'll be playing elsewhere. But we've put up a lot of crosswalk signs, which the crosswalks at Brooks are pretty identifiable now.
Yeah.
The Halloween program?
We've done a Halloween safety program where we gave out bags and advice to kids, where we talked to all of the kids in all of the schools up to grade 5, I believe.
Wow.
And that's with the police and educators and Alberta Health promotions. We do a lot of work with the Safe Communities Committee, and we're looking for people to participate. Right now, I think we've got as many vacancies as we do board members. So if anyone that's listening to this or is interested at all, please contact City Hall or the county and put your hand up and say that you'd like to participate with the Safe Communities Committee. Anyone is welcome.
Thank you, Tom. And I think Lisa was supposed to be the contact person for the city and the county. I think she's going for maternity leave. So what do you call Tony, I believe?
Tony Depp is...
Tony will probably be the contact person for that program. So people can get in touch with Tony, and I'm sure he's a wonderful guy to give them the directions how they're going to join. But that's a very good, wonderful. And I think you won a award, but I think that's the other organization that won the award for the provincial award. Is that's the not the Safe Community, that's the
domestic violence.
Domestic one.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one that won the award. Thanks, Tom. The city municipality of Brooks and the municipality of County of Newell have a very good, solid relationship, which can be a good model for other parties of Alberta or Canada. Could you tell us how that collaboration came into light? Because that's a lot of people asking. It's a very good model cooperation between the two. Is that something that you guys work out? How that?
We started talking.
Mhm.
Communication is the main thing, and we all have common goals.
Yeah.
So rather than being territorial, we just discussed what can we do together, how can we save money. We all serve the same group of people, and there's a lot of issues that we have in common. And fire services would be one of them. The water that we worked on is one of them. Safe communities is a good example. Economic development is a good example. There's just a lot of common goals, and it only makes sense to talk about it. Doesn't mean that you always agree, but if your long-term goal is to find a solution that works, then you'll work through those disagreements.
There you go. If you agree all the time, then there is something wrong somewhere. You have to agree and disagree sometime for any issue to be improved further. So sometimes people also are not aware that JBS is the territory of the county. They sometimes think JBS is within the city
That's
of
right.
Brooks territory. But if you look at the map, they are located a little bit outside the territory of the Brooks.
And a
city.
lot of people that work at JBS
Live in
live in
Brooks.
Brooks.
Very much, very high percentage live in Brooks.
And then we have the Eastern Irrigation District that also serves the same people in the same area, so we need to work with them. Most of it is just common sense.
There you go, and I think you guys are doing a very great job for that cooperation. I think some of the municipalities in Alberta that I have seen, and they always talk about the good cooperation between the city of Brooks and the county of Newell have built it. So we hope to improve further and then see the whole region's promotion in the long, many years to come. Tom, would you be able to tell us, for example, if somebody would like to join the RCMP, what is the procedure like, for example, especially those who are listening today, if they wish to join the police force, whether the RCMP or?
The process first of all, I would encourage anyone to go online to the RCMP website and have a look, or come down to our office and talk to us and kind of understand what being a Mountie, being an RCMP member is like compared to a police officer. A police officer in Medicine Hat Police Service doesn't ever have to move. They're in Medicine Hat forever. I've been in the Mounties for 33 years now, and I've had 10 different moves. So we move around a lot. 5 things that we have to have before you could even consider being a Mountie is you have to be a Canadian citizen. You have to be willing to move anywhere in Canada, and that could be right inside the Arctic Circle to Newfoundland, to New Brunswick, Nova Scotia,
And in between.
northern Manitoba, Brooks, Alberta,
There you
Vancouver, anywhere in between.
go.
You have to be able or willing to be trained and accept the use of force, a deadly force. We do carry a gun, and you have to be willing to accept that. There's, some religious or religions don't allow that and stuff. You have to have a clear and valid driver's license. Those are the main ones, and then we have to go through a security check. You have to be of sound character.
Okay.
You can't just come out of jail and join the police force. So we'll do a complete security background check. There's an examination, exam to go through. There's a polygraph test. The whole process takes about a year to do.
No, that's good. If I have an international driving license, would I be able to drive?
If you're a temporary resident or visitor to Canada, and you have 2 pieces of paper from your home country, one saying that this is an international license and the other one that gives you the permission to drive in your home country, then yes. But as soon as you have a permanent address in Canada, you're expected to get a Canadian driver's license. Everything also depends on your insurance. So more important than your driver's license is your insurance. If you're driving down the road, you have to be properly insured. So ensure and make sure that your insurance recognizes your driver's license.
There you go. But driving with learner's permit, that's out of the question.
Driving with a learner's permit, class 7, you must have a full class 5 right beside you and supervising you.
There you go. So I hope people will be listening, because that is the regulations and the law. And I think that if that is for everybody. If you have class 7, then you need somebody with class G, I believe.
Class
or
5.
Class 5,
Yes,
yeah. That be sitting on your side. If no one is there, then you cannot drive.
you're right.
What about the GDL?
A GDL is the graduated driver's license. Once you pass your driver's test, which gives you a class 5 GDL, then you can drive within the limitations of that. So some GDLs you can't drive after dark, you can't have any alcohol at all. Some GDLs you can't have passengers. There's stipulations on your graduated driver's license that you have to adhere to. So if it says you can't drive after dark, don't drive after dark. So if it says no alcohol, then there's no alcohol.
Okay, so whatever the condition is on the GDL is, that's what you
Yes,
have to obey.
yes.
No, that's good information, I think, and that will bring to our conclusion. I thank you very much, Madam Councillor. I think you and the county colleagues and the councillors are doing a great job for providing the county region, and we hope to see more that in the near future. And this was your first time, and we hope to invite you next time, so you will probably feel more comfortable next time. So welcome again, and thank you very much for taking the time to come to the Global Village Show.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
you.
And thanks, Tom, as always. I think I will take that offer and come, and you show me how to play the hockey as a newcomer. I just don't like falling on that ice, but I will
So
take the challenge.
you need to learn to skate first.
Okay, there
Then
you
we'll
go.
play hockey.
There you go. Let's start that one. Thank you very much, Tom, for coming and that information. This is the end of Global Village Show today. We take the opportunity to thank the continuous support from the County of Newell, City of Brooks, and Medicine Hat College. This is where East meets the West. Thank you very much again for joining, and I hope you will join us next time. Until then, God bless everyone and have a good one. This is Ahmed Kasim, your host of the program.